there's iron, yung hydrogen nandito, oxygen is here, hydrogen and so ito yung mga gases that is inside the star. Okay, so sa spectrum pala, nakikita na naman na natin kung ano yung gases that is inside the star. Okay, and then pansinin nyo yung if you imagine these lines like this, no? There are times that if you observe the spectrum long enough, there are times that these dark lines that shift towards the red side of the spectrum, and then there are times that these dark lines move towards the blue side of the spectrum. Okay, when this happens, when the dark lines is moving towards the red side of the spectrum, that's called the red shift. It means that star is coming nearer. Lumalapit yung star. If it's moving away from you, it's blue shifted. If the star is moving towards us, it's red shifted. If it's going away, it's red shifted. So then dito lang from these indications, nalalaman kaagad natin kung what yung gas composition ng star, and also if the star is moving towards us or if it's moving away from us. Okay. Other things na pwede nating malaman is how much fuel does the star have based on these lines. How fast is it rotating? Nalalaman din natin by analysis ng spectroscopy ng mga lines na to. If the star has an exoplanet, nalalaman din natin. Okay? So this is the method of reading starlight. This method of reading starlight is the foundation of astrophysics today. Okay? So when I read about this, parang ganun pala ang weight. There's so much information that we can get just an analyzing starlight. Ganito pala yung paano kung natin nalaman a lot of things about stars. And then, special and general relativity. Ito ba na-encounter nyo na sa lessons niyo? Okay? Well, I'll try to explain. I think medyo heavy, sa totoo lang medyo heavy physics to eh. But I'll try, kukwentuhan ko lang kayo in such a way na para madali nyo rin maintindihan. It's called special and general relativity for a reason. May dahilan kung bakit nyo yung tawag. Special, when you say special, kasi you're talking about objects moving at the speed of light. Okay? And how fast is the speed of light? Well, it's, so these are the numbers na kailangan nyo na. Yung speed of light. To give you a better idea how fast that is, if you get on a plane that can travel at the speed of light, you can go around the world in 1 second. 7 times. So 7 times now you can go around the world 7 times in a second. Ganun kabilis ang number na yan, mga numbers na yan. So that's how fast that is. And special relativity gives us a couple of assumptions. Not assumptions, but it gives us the idea of these behaviors of things that will happen if you travel at the speed of light. Number one, ito muna yung assumption. Assumption number one is that the laws of physics is the same to all observers, which means if the law of physics works here, pumunta kayo sa another side of the universe, the physics also works there. Okay? Number two, the speed of light is constant regardless of motion. So if you imagine if you're on a car traveling 40 kilometers an hour, and you throw a ball 40 kilometers an hour, you add those two speeds up, maging 100 kilometers an hour yun. But if you're on a car traveling at the speed of light and you throw the same ball, your ball is also traveling at the speed of light. Kasi constant yun. Constant yung speed of light. So basically, the takeaway here is that the faster you move in space, the slower time will take for you. Okay? So if you're strange things happen when you travel at the speed of light. Yung tinatawag na twin experiment. If you have a twin, you have one of your twins, isa sa mga twins will be here on Earth while the other twin travels in the speed of light papuntang space. By the time na bumalik yung twin nyo, matanda na yung twin nyo dito sa Earth while he's still young. Ganun yung nangyayari. Kasi the more faster you go, the more slower time it takes for you. Yun yung sabihin ng special theory of relativity. General theory of relativity is the redefinition of gravity. It teaches us how gravity works. That time and space are the same thing. And if you can imagine time and space like a fabric, if there is a heavy mass object like a star or a planet in that space, time and space curves. And that curvature of time and space is how gravity works. No? Yeah. The reason why inaano ko dito, naging mind blown ako dito, is because the first time I heard of special and general relativity, hindi ko naiintindihan. That was back in high school. Nung high school ako, hindi ko naiintindihan. When I heard it again, nung college ako, hindi ko pa rin naiintindihan. It's only when I became an astronomer, tsaka ko siya naiintindihan. And realizing that, parang wow, ganun pala yun. And this is general relativity came from Albert Einstein. A man, this genius is so bright sa theory of general and special relativity. He is so right that even if he is wrong, even though he thinks he's wrong, he's still right. Ganun. Next, discovery of exoplanets. This is something fairly recent. Kasi the first exoplanet Yung exoplanet is a planet that orbits a star outside our solar system. Okay? Now, yung pinaka-first confirmed exoplanet was discovered in 1992. And it's not even revolving around the star. Yung planet yun was revolving around a pulsar. PSR. Itong PSR, that's an abbreviation of pulsar, which is a very rare kind of star where gravitationally, matindi na yung gravitational bound niya. And usually kasi these planets exist in regular stars like ours. Pero ito, a pulsar, which extends our search area for other planets other than just regular stars. You know? And then the first exoplanet orbiting a sun-like star is 51 Pegasi b. Pegasi is yung constellation ni Pegasus, and it was discovered in 1995 naman, yung 51 Pegasi b, 1995, by Michel Lior and Didier Queloz. No? And here are the ways of finding exoplanets. Number one is radial velocity, where the star moves. Kasi if a star has a planet, they don't actually yung mutual gravity nila pulls at each other. So mangyayari, as the planet orbits around the star, yung star is gagalaw siya ng konti. And And they measure that movement of the star to find a planet. And then there's astrometry, where they take the star, tapos susukatin nila yung ang star that is behind this star, and how it moves. And yung measurement of that of the star's distance from this side to that side, doon nila mas ma-detect yung exoplanets. This is the more basic technique of detecting stars, where yung tinatawag na transit method, where the planet moves in front of the star. Tapos yung starlight will dim just a little bit. And then, once na-detect yan, and it's constant yung detection niya, not just once, twice, 3 times, they will assume they have detected an exoplanet from that star. And then there's the optical detection, which is basically taking an infrared camera and taking a picture of a star, and taking a picture of the hitting star. Tapos meron silang special device that will cover up the bright star para ma-detect nila yung heat sa exoplanet, which is ito. No? So kaya infrared yung ginagamit nila for doing optical detection ng exoplanets. Okay. So ito. As of March 12, 2026, we have confirmed 6,147 exoplanets. Ganyan na karami ang exoplanets na detect natin. Most of these are kasing laki ni Jupiter or mas malaki pa kay Jupiter. But some of these stars are also, some of these exoplanets some are Earth-like. No, ganyan. The total number of confirmed worlds has rapidly increased, officially surpassing 6,000. No? And there are additional 7,900 candidate exoplanets that needs to be confirmed pa. So there are 6,000 plus 8,000. Ilan yan? Mga possible candidates na exoplanets would be 14,000. 14,000 exoplanets. And that's just yung number na to. This number is detected sa if you extend your hand, yung size ng fist nyo, ganyan yung sa sky. Yung space that's covered up by your fist, yan lang yung space na kung saan na-detect yung mga planets na yan. And there is still a whole lot of sky na pwedeng mahanapan ng exoplanets. Okay. So notable exoplanet na discovered is Proxima Centauri. Proxima Centauri is actually the closest star to our sun. And there is mga 4.2 light years away na siya. There is also Kepler 186f, the first validated Earth-like na exoplanet, no? Discovered in 2014. And then, alam niyo yung movie na Star Wars, right? Yes! Nakita niyo yung scene where Luke Skywalker walks out, nakita niya may dalawang star. May dalawang sun pala. May ganun na planet. The Tatooine planet na tawagin nila. That's Kepler 16b. Okay? Ganun. So there are bukod sa detect, meron pang may mga satellites pa tayo that are still catching or still discovering exoplanets. One of them is yung Kepler, the Kepler satellite, kaya decommissioned na siya, Si TESS, the Terrestrial Exoplanet Satellite Survey, ito is still, I think this is still working. It's still detecting mga exoplanets until now. Okay. And finally, let's talk about the cosmic perspective. You're familiar with this, right? Yeah, this familiar chart of boxes that's hanging in your chemistry class. We're going to talk about elements na from hydrogen all the way to iron. Kasi hydrogen is the most abundant element in our universe. Is the most abundant element in the universe. And then helium is the next most abundant element in our solar system. And the rest, from lithium all the way to iron, those are elements na pinuproduce ng isang massive star or supermassive star. Yan. So, anong connection ito? These are astrophysicists, Margaret Burbidge, Jeffrey Burbidge, William Fowler, and Fred Hoyle. Ano naman ginawa nila? They wrote a paper, ito, the synthesis of the element in stars. Because they wrote this paper where they said that they say that all of these elements are created inside the star. And mula helium hanggang iron, all that is created inside the star. The rest, mula from cobalt all the way dito sa from the end of this periodic table. Ito yung mga rare elements where the star goes supernova. Pero what's the point ba? The point is this. If you take all these elements and compare it sa elements that is inside our bodies. Yeah. Okay? So, oxygen is what? Ayan? 65%. Hydrogen is 9.5%. Nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus. Hindi na-mention dito yung iron inside your blood. All of these elements came from a star. So what does this mean? We are made of stardust. You are made of stardust. You are created out of stardust. We are all made of stardust. So, it's not just a figure of speech, yung cosmic perspective. This is saying that everything we are came from a star. Okay? That connection between you and a star, that things up there, yung mga objects that you see up there, stars and planets and is connected to us down here. So if you think you're not special, you are, because you're made of stardust. Okay? So these are the things that blew my mind. When I found this out, something that kayo, at least by sharing this, at the very least, maging curious din kayo to what I was curious about. Okay? And I leave you po with a quote from anyway, I leave you po, before I end my presentation, I leave you with a quote from a guy named Claudius Ptolemy, who is an astronomer then. Pero at the time na he's a librarian in Alexandria back in 150 BC. And his quote is something like this, and I hope you indulge me. He was responsible kasi sa pagsulat ng first astronomy book called the Almagest, or the Greatest. Okay? And this quote goes like this: As I trace at my pleasure the windings to and fro of the heavenly bodies, I no longer touch earth with my feet. I stand in the presence of Zeus himself and take my fill of ambrosia. With that, thank you very much. Good night, everybody.